In this video, we're going to go over some of the meds administration processes. So starting on the inpatient area of Lorenzo, on this T2 test ward, we've got this column here, which is the drug administration column. These symbols indicate the status of the medicines for that patient. This symbol indicates that meds are due for this patient. This symbol indicates that there's overdue medicines for this patient. And this symbol indicates that either there's nothing prescribed or the status is updated and there's nothing due nor overdue. So I'm going to start with this patient highlighted in pink. If I select this symbol, it will take us to that patient's record, and we can see that some paracetamol was due at 11 o'clock. Time's now 10 past 12, so this is now in an overdue status. If we click the icon, the coloured bar, we will be able to either administer it with given, we can mark it as not given for a variety of reasons, we can mark it as self-administered, we can put not known, so if we don't know what happened to that medicine, or we can defer the administration, which is something that you will do if the patient was unavailable or the medicine's unavailable, but you do wish to give it later on. So in this scenario, we're going to mark this as not given, and we're going to put that the patient refused with capacity. Press OK. This will now update. The colours change to a blue, and there is a cross indicating that it's not been given, and if we hover over that icon, it will tell us why, and a number 2 representing that the patient refused with capacity. If we click on the show legend, it will give us an indication of what all of the icons mean. And the not given reasons is also here, so you can correspond all of the numbers across the patient's chart with the reason that it's not been taken. So we've also got this morphine, which is as required, so anything that is PRN is always going to be yellow. And if we click the blue plus button, we'll be able to administer this. As you can see, the dose is null because it's between 3 to 6 milligrams. This instance, I'm going to give 3 milligrams, and I'm going to press OK. If we press close, this now says when the last dose was given. If we try and do another dose by clicking into where the plus would have been, it's telling us that you're trying to attempt this medication too early and you've got to wait at least 2 hours. So I'm going to back out of this and close that. What we can also do from this screen is record PGD. So this is the only area in Lorenzo where you can actually administer PGD now. Every other area within Lorenzo has been removed and you can only do it from the meds administration chart. So if we record PGD, you'll be presented with a list of PGD items based on the ward that you're on. Very simply, I'm going to choose this E45 cream, which will put in the time and date we're giving it, then who it's administered by, which is me, and I'm pressing OK. What we'll see here is that this screen will update, and at the bottom of the screen in green is a completed item, which is the PGD E45 cream that we've now applied to the patient. If we move on to the infusions and gases chart, we can see that there's a symbol here, so we need to take action. And what I've got there is an oxytocin infusion. So this was prescribed a little while ago, and it's still waiting to be started. So I'm going to press the arrow, the play button on the chart there, which then in turn opens up this screen. Now, for this particular item, we've got some information here to a midwife to say not to use the dose calculator, which is this item here, and to enter 0.1 mils as your start as per guideline and increase as directed. So we're going to put in here 0.1 mils per hour. The bag volume, the syringe volume's already been included there, so it's 16.5. Witness, this drug needs a witness, so I'm going to choose this person, and that person has come along and put in their password. So it is essential that you get your password set up within Lorenzo under Manage My Profile, because soon this option of no witness available will be removed and you won't be able to witness it unless you've set up your password. And when we press OK, the system now has a green play button arrow to show that this is running, and there's some details on there about how that's running. You may wish to come along at some point and click anywhere along this bar and change the flow rate. So you can increase the flow rate according to the patient's response. Now, we don't have a witness option here, so in the comments, feel free to use that to enter the witness and comments of why you're increasing the flow rate, and we can press OK. When we've increased the flow rate, we can see that there's a little drip indicator there. If we hover over that, it will tell us what the flow rate has changed from and to and when. And you can continue to do that until either in this scenario the baby's been delivered, or you can change the bag if you need to change the syringe. You can pause the infusion for any reason here. But it is important that once this infusion is either stopped or completed, you do go into Lorenzo and say that you have stopped this infusion. Now, there will be an estimated dose or volume that's been administered here. However, the pump will probably be a lot more accurate to enter the volume infused here. That's a mandatory reason for stopping. So clinical raises, baby born. Press OK. And you can see that that drug has now been completed and the time of when that volume was infused over. Finish that. If we go back into that patient's record, again, the indicators change now because I've actioned all of the overdues and dues of the prescription. It's gone to a white symbol. All of them are interactive. All of them you can click on and return to the administration chart. You'll be able to, from here, if you wish, print a prescription. So if you are going to send this patient elsewhere within the organization or to a different organization, use that print option to print the drug chart for this patient. So the start date and time, press next. It is working on this, pulling all the information together. Okay. Your option will be local print, and you can press the local print button and it will print immediately. I'm just going to click the preview button just to preview it on screen, just to show you what it looks like. So that's what a printed off medication administration chart will look like, which can then be sent to with the patient to a ward that doesn't use Lorenzo ePMA or to a different organization. Just close that, cancel that. Return back to the meds administration chart. If I press finish, it will return me back to the patient list. Another function on this list here is this medication administration tab. This tab, if we click this, will show us the list of patients on T2 test ward. Here we are able to select this icon, patient at a time, which will open up each medication administration chart for us to act on. As you can see that this test patient has got a number of due and not yet recorded medicines and PRNs and infusions with a symbol on there to indicate something that requires our attention. If we press finish, it will actually take us to the infusions and gases chart to review what's happening on there. However, I'm just going to press finish again. And then in turn, we can select each of those patients. On your ward, you may be able to filter by location. So if your ward is opened into different location types or different beds or bays, you can select which bays or beds you're interested in doing meds administration for, and it will just return those patients for you. And one other option that we will be doing on the wards is barcode scanning. So at this stage, we will be able to scan the patient's wristband, and without clicking anything on this screen, it will open up the patient's administration record immediately. But that will come in time, and we will come and do some work on the wards with you. Let's go back to the current view, which goes back to this patient's record. So just to recap, this is very useful here to click immediately through these patients' records to go and record a PGD or updates on medicines that need administering immediately. And this medication tab here is very useful if you're doing a structured drug round in the mornings or afternoons or evenings.